freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 486 of Gun Freedom Radio, where we engage, we educate, and we inform. We are brought to you by Pot of Gold Auctions, where you set the price on guns, coins, antiques, ammo, jewelry, accessories, you name it. I am one of your hosts, Cheryl Todd.
And I'm the other guy, Dan Todd. Our theme today is Fueling the Armed Women of America, and our guests are Jan Ennenga and Beth Rees of Armed Women of America. Jan is the Executive Director for Armed Women of America, and Beth Rees is a certified meeting professional and the founder of Rees, the Event Runner.
Yes, absolutely. Beth specializes in creating memorable experiences for purpose-driven startups, corporations, small businesses, associations, nonprofits, including Armed Women of America. Welcome back to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are so excited to have you on again, talking about our second annual super great event that you have running. This is the benefit auction that helps to fuel the work of Armed Women of America. We own Pot of Gold Auctions, and we are hosting this auction for you guys. It's such an amazing collaboration, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm going to dive right over to Jan and ask, Armed Women of America is an amazing women's firearms training organization, but what makes AWA unique?
Well, Cheryl, thank you and Danny for having us on. And for hosting our auction, we are just so very grateful. Armed Women of America, who many may know in our former name as the Well-Armed Women Shooting Chapters, or Tues Shooting Chapters Incorporated, which we still are. We are a nonprofit. We started in 2013 under the umbrella of the Well-Armed Women LLC, and then in 2014 became the nonprofit 501c3 Tues Shooting Chapters Incorporated. And because of continued confusion, we rebranded to Armed Women of America in 2021. And so there's continued education about that. We have been around for a few years, and we have been doing the same thing for all of those years, which is empowering women to be their own self-protectors, creating freedom, peace of mind, and confidence in themselves. It is truly our passion. And when I say the real strength of the organization is our volunteer chapter leaders. Beth was a volunteer chapter leader for many years, and I continue to be a volunteer chapter leader. That's how I got my start in this organization. And I don't like this. I say there are hearts on the ground, but that kind of sounds wrong because boots really go on the ground. But there are hearts in the communities across this nation. And truly, they are volunteers. They've stepped up because they saw a need. Some had no previous firearms experience, and it was their motivation to get involved. And they realized that there were other women in their communities who also needed to develop the skills to overcome fear, to gain confidence in themselves, to learn how to safely, responsibly handle a firearm. And then they get engaged. They may come in as a survivor of domestic violence or violent crime of other types. And they're terrified when they come in. They're terrified of the firearm, but through the heart, the generosity, the grit and determination, patience of our chapter leaders, they overcome the fear. And then you start seeing their shoulders go back, their heads come up, and they realize they have value. and they have work, and that is worth protecting. And that's our passion. That's truly our passion, is helping women that have no experience become confident self-protectors.
Jan, I've been to several events, and I've seen some of the women that went through your courses and talked to them, and it's really gives you chills to think about these women that when they first come into the program, they're afraid, or they just don't have the confidence, and but the time they get out of it, they're like super strong, powerful, and they're getting other people to join, and that's wonderful.
Yes, and I need to go back just because those volunteer chapter leaders, they may start out, and we've been doing it for 13 years as having no experience, but then they become certified instructors, they gain experience, they gain more certifications, they sometimes start their own businesses, they get engaged in other organizations. And Cheryl, the Women for Gun Rights DC project is one of those, where many of our chapter leaders and members are actively involved, again, as volunteers, because they're so committed to helping women and protecting the Second Amendment, which is our protection of our fundamental right to life. And yes, Danny, you are exactly right. It's just to watch this transformation is just incredible.
That's amazing. And I love, for the people that are just listening, you're missing out on this beautiful graphic behind Jan with the smiling faces of women. You can tell they come from all walks of life, all different ages, all different shapes and sizes. And it's a true representation of the cross section of America. Really, that is who the female gun owner is, right? So tossing it over to Beth. So, as I kind of teased at the beginning, Armed Women of America has partnered with POG Auctions, Pot of Gold Auctions, for the second year to run a benefit auction. So, tell us a little bit about this auction. How do people find out about it? Are you still accepting consignments? When do they dive into the bidding excitement? What are they going to find there? Just dive in.
Oh my goodness. There's so much. So this is our second annual. It is our largest fundraising event of the year. So it's very important. As far as donations, we're only 2 weeks out, I believe. Are we 2 weeks? The 26th of August, or is that's a week
less
out?
than
I'm
one.
sorry.
Yes,
I'm
that's right.
I'm losing track of time. So we're a week out from the auction closing. But if anybody wants to, provide a donation, we can certainly, accept that as well. Gosh, we've got items, everything from a very unique Glock that is AWA
Yes.
purple with the AWA logo.
Sparkly,
We have
pretty.
yes, very sparkly. We have purple bullets, by the way, purple ammo from Hoosier Bullets LLC, who happens to be a chapter leader as well, that she donated. We've got, Ruger, who is one of our AWA sponsors, a long-term sponsor. They also graciously donated a rifle and a pistol. We've got a pistol from Walther. We got a pistol from a private donor, an H&K. And we've got a dove hunting experience in Argentina.
Argentina.
Yes.
Ooh,
yes.
Now we're talking travel.
Exactly. So there's pretty much anything from jewelry to gun gear to purses to guns to trips to training at gun site, training opportunities with other trainers across the country. So there's really something for everybody. And get in on the action now. You can reach the auction website via Pot of Gold. You can also reach it through the armedwomenofamerica.com. I'm sorry, .org. So there's a link on our website as well.
And that auction is Tuesday, August 26th. It starts at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I'm sorry. That's 5 o'clock Arizona time.
Yep.
So there's some neat stuff in there. And I want to make a comment on the donations. If it is too late to donate, there's always going to be another auction down the
That's right.
road. And so
Absolutely.
you can donate now, and while it's on your mind, all the money from the auction goes towards AWA, and it's awesome. So
This is such an amazing partnership for us because, Danny and I are so service driven and advocacy driven, and we feel like it is such an honor for us to be able to partner and collaborate with AWA. We believe in everything you're doing, anything we can do to help empower the women that you're empowering to us is just amazing. I just can't believe I'm going to pinch myself sometimes that I get to do this kind of work alongside amazing women like yourself.
And I'd
And
like to make a comment on that too. I really strongly believe that women are going to be the reasons why we get to keep our guns.
he's not wrong.
Okay, women are a lot more sociable with people, and they talk and they share, and we need the women involved. And so I really appreciate it. So anything that we can do to help is our goal.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at this catalog while you guys are talking, and there's this one. It's a make ready range wear Victoria concealment vest, and it just looks all curvy. Jan's like, I may or may not have a
bid on
bid in
that.
on that. I can neither confirm nor deny. And there's this beautiful sweater, this boat neck sweater. I'm like, there really is something for everyone. And even if you are not somebody that's like, yeah, I'm out on the range all the time, there's still cool stuff in here for you. There's some purses that you could use for concealed carry. Not, right? You can conceal your phone in there, right?
And I like to mention, it looks like all the firearms and things are new in this, but people can donate used firearms too. So let's say you just got too many. Well, how can you have too many?
That
But somebody
happens,
might
I
have
guess.
too many guns, or maybe somebody from an estate has some firearms they'd like to donate. We do accept used firearms too. So, and they'll be clearly addressed in the description that they're used if they are. But yeah, guns, ammo, whatever.
Absolutely. We've been noticing that people that like way overbought like ammo when there was the big scare and the shortage, we're starting to see people, liquidate some of that. And so somebody out there might have like, you know what, let me throw a couple thousand rounds towards a group like this that I know that every single round is going to something that I would support, right? Training, self-defense, hunting, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we have a lot of our items that are donated are from our sponsors as well. Again, Beth mentioned Gunsight, Gun Totin' Mamas GTM Originals, Ruger, other of our sponsors who Mantis, they've partnered with us as a sponsor, but they've also provided product for our auction. So we also conduct sweepstakes throughout the year. So that those are also fundraisers. So items that are donated to us are then used for those sweepstakes that are open to the public to participate in. And those are all donations to the organization. So yeah, I'm excited about this auction. There's some great stuff.
There really is. And, sticking with you, Jan, and I've talked about, funds are fuel for an organization like this. And so, why are fundraisers so important to your organization, particularly? I mean, you mentioned you have a lot of volunteers. So what do you do with the money? Like, why is it important if everybody's volunteering? We know that's not, the end of the story, but help our listeners understand.
Sure. Well, and thank you for asking that. It's a very good question. As a nonprofit organization, a 501c3, we try also, because of our mission, to keep our membership fees low. That's really the primary source of our income is our membership fees. But we want to keep those low and allow all walks of life to be able to afford a membership and to maintain that membership. And we do have staff. We have staff that supports our volunteers, our chapter leaders. So although a portion of all the fundraising does go to support what one would call administrative work, that administrative work is me and my staff, it's a small staff, and they are all chapter leaders who volunteer their time and their heart and give so much to the organization. But their primary focus is our chapter leaders and our members, but really helping our chapter leaders build their chapters, manage their chapters, to provide resources, discounts, training opportunities, social opportunities, and all those things that support those chapter leaders in their work in the communities. That's really our focus. Someone asked me once, well, what other programs do you have? Well, really our program is our chapter program. That's it. And so our main focus is supporting those chapter leaders. And we do fundraisers to help take the burden off of our members and our chapter leaders. All of our chapter leaders, they are volunteers, and they, as part of that volunteer, they don't have to pay their own membership. Unless they decide to join a second chapter or our virtual chapter, which many of them have done, because it's nice to not have to be the leader of a chapter and just to be able to attend and participate as a member. So
I love that. And so, what we don't realize, I think, enough is that sometimes the entry point into owning a gun is that first experience where you're in a safe environment with a skilled trainer, and automatically it becomes fun. And, you put somebody out on the range with a 22, right? Don't hand them the biggest, baddest shotgun there is and scare them half to death, which is something that, used to happen so much. But once they break that barrier and they understand the fun, right, and the empowerment, that's when, my sweet spot really in this world is the advocacy. It means something to them now, right? Advocacy is harder to translate to people when, well, I don't even own a gun. And, well, we have the Constitution, so it's safe, supposedly. And so you're doing a huge service to the work that so many of us in the advocacy space are doing, because you're that bridge, that opening door to get people into the space. And Beth, I'm going to toss this one to you.
Well, I have a question for Beth,
sure.
if I could. Beth, so a woman that's just, she may be a little afraid. She doesn't have any friends, and she wants to get involved with her self-protection. What would they do?
You know what? I can tell you about my journey.
Okay.
I like that.
And I didn't start until I was in early 40s. And my husband's retired law enforcement, now back into law enforcement, unretired again. So, for me, I had someone at home that was very experienced, but, different mindset, military background. And I actually went searching online for something.
Mm.
And I ended up finding then the Well-Armed Woman. I actually found Carrie Lightfoot on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I reached out to her. Unbeknownst to me, there was a chapter in northern Cincinnati, which is where I'm from. And I reached out to, the chapter leader there, and actually attended a meeting and started to learn a few things. And fast forward a little bit, when I launched my event business and left corporate America and went out on my own, I landed a job at a gun range with like almost no qualifications, but I happened to know somebody who wanted to build a diverse team, and didn't want, people to come in and just see all, former military, former law enforcement, and be more representative of the community. And that's literally how it all started. And then they, said, oh, well, we want a Well-Armed Woman chapter. And I said, I'll do it. And I quite honestly, I had zero experience. I really did.
And I love that didn't stop you.
No, it was intimidating at the time, but I was very passionate about wanting to learn as much as possible. And I went from knowing nothing to having NRA pistol certification, instructor certification, range safety officer, USCCA. I led 2 chapters, in Cincinnati and northern Kentucky. So it kind of, exploded for me. But to answer your question specifically, I'm probably on one end of the spectrum on that. But, reach out to organizations, like AWA. And, Jan mentioned the virtual chapter. So if you didn't have a chapter in your local area, get online. And even if you're not comfortable with going into a range, get online with AWA and start reaching out to other women who have been in the same place as you and can mentor you and help you, go through that process. So there are plenty of resources now that weren't there 10 or 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm an old guy and I've been around guns all my life. And I'll tell you, still to this day, I do not like walking into a gun shop by myself.
Not funny.
And I'm a guy, and
Yeah.
you would think
Yeah.
that "No, I could do that. I'm not comfortable with it. And if I've never been in the store before, there's something there. It's not that I'm afraid. It's just, I don't know. So I see how women that have not been around firearms that want to get involved, how it could be to them. So it's really good, I think, to find somebody that's been through the experience. You don't have to go shoot the first time you go to a meeting.
No,
Absolutely not.
And you're not going to push somebody to do something they don't want to do.
Yeah.
So knowing
Correct.
that should be a lot of help. But if you don't know anybody that shoots, bring a friend that's never shot before and go together as a team. And so
Yeah,
And
fun growing.
also, individuals can attend a meeting as a guest and observe and see what the interaction is. Because I think, Danny, you mentioned one of the huge aspects is the social aspect. And it being in a supportive, encouraging environment, which is what our chapter meetings are. It's just a totally different dynamic. And Cheryl, you mentioned bridging those gaps. And yes, we do. We provide that bridge for women who they really are interested, but taking a class at their local gun shop, their range that's local, that just is a huge, huge step to take. And it's intimidating. And we don't want to fail. And we don't want to look like we don't know anything. And we don't know anything. We know we don't know anything, but we don't want to look like we don't know anything. And it's something that we recognize can do harm if not handled properly. And not like we don't operate things every day that do that, like a vehicle or a blender or those types of things. But nonetheless, we have that respect. And so Armed Women of America helps to bridge that gap. We provide a safe, welcoming environment for women to meet in the company of other women and learn. And it goes beyond safe and responsible firearms handling. That's kind of the entry point. Then it gets into the mindset and the self-awareness and the situational awareness and all of those things to keep you away from trouble and away from ever having to utilize lethal force. So other options.
Jan, I could say that, I don't know the answer to this, but I'm going to guess that anybody that joins your group and goes through the process, very rarely does anybody say, I don't want to do that. Right? It's got to be a very, very low number of people that once they shoot, get involved, they want to be part of it. Is that true?
We reach all demographics. So it's interesting because on our exit survey, so to speak, we do have individuals who say, I came, I learned, and I gained the skills necessary, but this really isn't something that's for me. And I respect all what you do, and I appreciate what you do, and I've learned so much. So, but that's okay, right? They've understood, then they've gained skills along the way, and they're not antagonistic or hostile at all. They're actually, oh, this is good. I'm glad that I did this. I'm glad that I learned this. Yeah. But then there's the others that get hooked, and then they go on to become chapter leaders, to become firearms instructors, to become influencers in the industry. And I am so proud of that, and so proud of the work that we've done over the last, since 2013 in building the industry and influencing and shaping the industry quietly, but significantly. And I'm proud of all those who have been part of AWA, and maybe they've moved on, and that's okay. They are still out there in the firearms space, and they are influencing, and they are affecting lives. And that's part of our mission, and we are proud of them.
Absolutely. And going back to the Second Amendment advocacy lane, it is a lot harder for someone that's had the experience, even if they come away from it going, that was fun, but I don't see myself coming to the range every week, or, that sort of thing. It's a lot harder for them to hear these anti-gun, bills and so on and so forth come through. And and now they have a different and personal experience with the tool that so many people out there just try to vilify. And so again, I just feel like it's such a blessing to the work that I do, that you ladies are out there, at that entry level space and giving people this positive, safe, and fun experience. Now, Beth, this last question, I'm gonna toss at you. There are people out there listening, we've given them time to think about the auction. We've given them, some information about why you guys need fuel, why AWA needs fuel in the way of funding. Maybe they don't have an extra, pre-owned firearm, or maybe they don't have any extra ammo. What ways can someone help and support and help fund AWA, in whatever ways?
That's a great question. There's a lot of different ways. Monetarily speaking, support the auction, go online, check out what we have, available. There's, items from all price ranges. So that's one way to support. We can also, do a donation online. It's very simple. But in addition to that, supporting the organization through following us on social media, spreading the word, telling people, about us. And one thing I did want to point out about the auction specifically, and talking about women and their involvement in this industry and part of this cause, many of our donors, they're women-owned businesses. So
That's
everything
true.
from gun-toting mamas, crossbreed holsters, Christy Titus, Pursue the Wild. We've got On Point Defense Training. And Jan, do you want to jump in? But there's so many
Make Ready
women.
Rangewear.
Make Ready Rangewear, Ergo
Right.
Grips. So all of those are women-owned businesses. So another way to support, indirectly AWA is support those that support us.
love
Like
that.
follow them on social media, sign up for their email list, purchase from them, because our sponsors and our donors aren't always, big gun manufacturers. A lot of them are the small business owners, and a lot of those small business owners are women.
That is
That's
so
awesome.
true. And I do love that. And just kind of looking again at some of these items on here, and the prices that they're at. I do want to say to those of you out there that will dive into POGauctions.com, check out the auction. This is no time to bargain shop, okay? This is the time to go big, because you aren't just getting a great item, you are fueling this amazing organization and touching the individual lives of women and growing their confidence and their skill. And you just can't go wrong with this. So, even if you're on there and you're like, well, shoot, maybe if I could buy this thing at a cheaper price somewhere else, don't do it. Buy it here. Support this group. You can go bargain shop on your next cup of coffee or something, but bring your full weight to this auction. POGauctions.com. It's going to wrap up, as we said, on the evening of Tuesday, August 26th. 5 p.m. Pacific time, and this is the year 2025. This show will stay online forever, and so if you stumble on it at another time, I don't want to confuse anybody, but hopefully we'll have another auction running at that time when you stumble on this show. But
Well,
please show up big, share it with your friends. It's hard on social media sometimes to share raffles or auctions or anything that has anything to do with firearms, because those algorithms, you know, basically cancel us out of existence. So person to person is so important. So share it with your friends on email, text it to your friends, text the link, and encourage everybody that you know to, bid that extra increment up on each item that attracts you.
I just want to mention too that if you decide that you want to send something for AWA,
Mm-hmm.
even a firearm can be sent directly to us. We do hold an FFL,
Mm-hmm.
and you can put it in a box, put your a copy of your driver's license, and a what you want it to go to AWA, and we'll make sure that it gets there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So as we're wrapping up, ladies, I want you to take a minute and, not only tell people again how they can follow all the work that AWA is doing, but individually, you both are doing a lot of stuff. So we'll start with Beth. Tell folks how they can follow the event runner.
Really follow me on LinkedIn. That's probably my biggest spot specifically for that. And then theeventrunner.com.
That is fantastic. And then Miss Jan.
As with Beth, I am on LinkedIn, and that's really my primary source. And for me, it's about AWA. It's not about me and following me. So armedwomen.org is our website, and we have both a Facebook page and an Instagram page and a LinkedIn page for armedwomen.org, or TWA Shooting Chapters Incorporated is sometimes how it's listed, because that's our legal name with the IRS.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both again so much for taking this time and for all the work that you do. And also, we again are so honored to be able to be collaborating with you on this important benefit auction.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you
Thank you,
both very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So awesome. I just
Yes.
absolutely love it. The work that they're doing, we can't really overstate it, how important it is to connect women with that particular tool that the media, right? Politicians,
Yep.
actors and actresses are trying to convince people how, how ugly the gun is, right? How awful the tool is. And why would you, as a decent person, own this kind of tool? There is such a propagandistic move out there against that particular tool, and protecting yourself. Like how does somebody with a straight face say, no, you should not have the most powerful tool available to protect yourself?
Well, the people that say that you can't
But they
have,
do that.
the people that say guns are evil and all that, it's so easy to fix that.
It
All you
is.
have to do is say, no, they're not.
Well, and give them the experiences
Right.
that AWA does.
Right.
It's incredible. So
Now,
thank you
I
again.
remember one time we took about 25 people out shooting one time that have never fired a firearm in their life.
Yeah.
And we took them out, and on the table, we started with 22s and went all the way to 50 caliber. And everybody was afraid. We started at the 22. Everybody had to shoot the 22 supervised. We had 3 trainers there, and they started with the 22. Not one person said no to the 50.
True.
Not one person.
It's so true. And you just, you walk them through the progression. You don't push them faster than
Right.
they're ready to be pushed. And yeah, that was, and then we had people bring their kids out, which was wonderful because now we're teaching kids how to be safe around firearms. It's truly wonderful.
Right.
What a blessing. All right. Well, we need to start wrapping up. I do want to thank our amazing guests once again, Jan Ennenga and Beth Rees. Amazing work you're doing. Thank you to our amazing listeners all over the globe, wherever we have internet, wherever there is internet, we have listeners and viewers. So thank you for that. And I also want to connect you with some organizations. As the lady said, support the organizations that support what you do. And we have a few that we really are so excited to partner with and have affiliations with. And first out of the gate, I want to talk about patriotmobile.com. Now, everybody on the planet, I feel like nowadays, walks around with their handy dandy gadget, right? Their phone. Whether it's a flip phone, whether you're on, AT&T.
What's a flip phone?
I know, right? That's where I started, was a flip phone. Whether it's Verizon, whatever the services you already have, Patriot Mobile will hook you up with those towers, the same level service. And, I like to say that, my selfies are fueled by Patriot Mobile. So the reason you want to do that is because Patriot Mobile has all the same values that you do. Why would you not want to spend your money with a company that believes the same things that you believe? They are the only Christian conservative wireless provider. You can get all the same networks at the same level strength. They even have a puck, this neat little puck. So when you're traveling, you we just went to Canada for our 40th anniversary. We drove 3 days to get there and 3 days to get back, and we were in a lot of dead zones with our AT&T service. And so this puck, if we would have had it, it would have found the next best service and given us service while we're driving down the road. Now, Danny's driving. He's a good driver. He's got his eyes on the road. But me, I'm over there in command center. I got the laptop open. I got the cell phone going because, we work even when we're having fun. So anyway, I do want to encourage you, when you go to patriotmobile.com, use our affiliate code, GFR. They will buy you out of your old contract. They will give us a little piece of that. That'll help fuel our work. And I think you even get maybe a month of free service. So check them out, patriotmobile.com.
And it was scary to switch over. I have to tell you, we were with AT&T.
Yeah.
But you know what? They are super friendly. The customer service is amazing. And if you're having trouble, have your daughter do it for you. Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, it was a very simple switch over, and I highly recommend it.
And sticking with the theme of Patriot, we have Patriot Mobile. We also have Made in America products, patriothousehold.com.
Best steaks in the country.
You
We
don't
just had
even
some
know.
2 nights ago.
You don't even know. So this is a private invitation-only shopping club, shopping network, and we are inviting you right now, today. You will go to patriothousehold.com/GFR for Gun Freedom Radio. Again, we get a small piece of every dollar you spend there that you're going to go spend at the big box stores anyway, right? And with this, you get to go online, you get to place your order, and it magically shows up at your doorstep within a couple of days of your order. You can set your order and forget it, your monthly order, or you go in and shop as you need stuff. So patriothousehold.com/GFR. Another company that we are excited to partner with is Locked In Grip. This is a liquid shooting sports chalk. So again, all those ladies, those AWA ladies, when they're out there on the range in the summertime, no matter where you are, it gets a little spicy outside, right? And your hands will get a little moist with sweat. And so with a locked in grip, it will tighten up that grip. You will have better, safer, more accurate, and faster shooting. LockedInGrip.com. And the last thing I want to mention is this wonderful organization that we partner with. It's Attorneys on Retainer. Now, you can go to our homepage, gunfreedomradio.com, scroll down until you find Attorneys on Retainer, click through the link, or you can go to attorneysonretainer.com. And again, use our promo code GFR. And the reason you need an attorney on retainer is hopefully you never will. But if you are ever involved in an incident where you have to defend your life, you guaranteed are going to need an attorney on retainer. So plan ahead and get this amazing service. We are not only affiliates, but we are also clients. And we have that peace of mind that I would like for you to have as well. Attorneysonretainer.com. All right. So we need to get on out of here, Dan, because we've got another show lined up right after this one. Now, I have already thanked our amazing guests. I have already thanked our awesome listeners. And if you want to go back and watch this video or any of our videos, you can go to our website, gunfreedomradio.com, click the On Demand tab, and
binge listen to your heart's content, darling.
Darling, for sure. And you can find our videos on YouTube, on Gunstreamer, any of the big video platforms, Rumble. And when you go there, please click the On Demand tab. When you do that, not the On Demand tab, I apologize, the subscribe and the notifications button. When you do that, you are telling those platforms that you value that information that we are providing to you. It gives us a little hedge against the cancel culture. If you want to listen to the audio only version, then you go to gunfreedomradio.com. If you want to see photos and bios of all of our guests that we've ever had on, then click the guest tab. It is an ever growing resource. And when you spend time there, we don't hate that. One last announcement. I'm going to reach on the shelf behind me. We are celebrating our 10th anniversary with Gun Freedom Radio. And I can't believe it's been 10 years. Dan, do you?
No,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
it really is. I had to go back and do the math again, but I was adding up all of the speakers that we've ever had on, and it's in the neighborhood of like
Can you count that far?
600 some people, if I remember correctly, that we have had the subject matter experts that we have had the chance to connect with and learn from and become friends with. And it has just been an amazing journey. And we had these fun little coffee cups made for ourselves to, just kind of have a little reminder and a commemoration. So happy anniversary to us, huh?
Happy anniversary.
All right. All right. Well, we got to get on out of here. Until next time, we are going to
Pray for our nation.
We are going to
Pray for
leaders,
our politicians.
people who are in leadership positions.
They're not leaders. They're not our.
I understand, but there are a lot of leaders out there.
In fact, we should be
right?
leading them.
Aren't the AWA
We should be leading
ladies?
them. I'm talking about the politicians. We should be
I
leading
understand
them.
that, and I agree with you. But our AWA ladies, they are
Awesome.
chapter leaders, right? So let's pray for our leaders.
Yes.
And the politicians that you're talking about, do we pray for them, even though there's a few that
Oh, we
maybe
pray. Well,
we're a
you
little
bet
frustrated with?
We're praying for them.
Maybe especially for them. All right, until next time, have a great week. Be good to each other, and God bless.
Bye-bye.